Thank you very much for your interest in learning about MoPlus, a powerful model-oriented programming language, and the MoPlus Solution Builder, the integrated development environment for effective model-driven development. In this tutorial, we will cover how you can define your own model structures, populate them, and generate code based on these model structures and data. Before getting the most out of this tutorial, you should have a good understanding of the built-in solution model and specification element structures. You should know how to load solution models from database sources. You should know how to manage output solutions from your solution models. You should know how to write code and spec templates. Up to now, we have used the built-in model structure in our solution models. We used model elements such as entity, relationship, and property. We populated those elements with model data. And we generated code from that model data. Most of you may never need to go beyond the built-in structures for your solution requirements, but if you need to, the MoPlus model-oriented programming language is powerful enough to let you define your own model structures. You can define any kind of hierarchical model structure. You could create model structures that make sense in the hardware domain, or other non-software domains. You could even mimic the UML model structure without the diagrams. At this point, it's best to start with an example custom model structure. To begin, create a new solution, and link the solution to the block model test template found in the C# SQL Server MySQL sample pack. Add a database specification source, and add connection info to either a MySQL or a SQL Server database. Choose the block model template found in the specifications block model folder. With your saved solution, compile specification source data. Notice that your loaded model does not contain any feature or entity-related data. But there is some data under models. Let's look at some of that data. This model structure is where your custom model structures and data is held. Your custom structure for a model includes model objects, model properties, enumerations, and values. A model property can be a collection or reference to another model object, enumeration, or value. When your model structure is populated with data, it is stored in collections of object instance and property instance. You can actually define as many models as you need to for your solution, each with an independent structure and data. Our example simple model structure contains two model objects, block and element. A block is analogous to a table, entity, or class. A block contains two properties, an ID and a name. What these properties hold is defined by a custom enumeration, which differentiates string and numeric properties. An element is a child of block and is analogous to a property or a field of a table, entity, or class. Element contains three properties, a numeric ID, a string name, and a data type that could be either numeric or string. Let's look at some instances of block. Does this look familiar? Let's look at some instances of element. Just as with the built-in model structures and data, you can add customizations to loaded custom model structure or data, or create new ones by hand. Before we look into how you can use your custom model information to generate code, let's take a look at how this custom information was loaded. Open the output area of the block model spec template. Here we are creating our custom model. Here we are creating our block and element model objects. Here we are creating our enumeration and valid values. Here we are creating the properties. Once we have created the model structure, we can load this structure with instances from our database. Here we are calling the MDL block model spec template to produce this output. We are passing in the IDs of the various block model elements. Let's open the output area of MDL block model under SQL Table Category Block. First, we create an object instance and load basic information from the table. Then we add the block ID and block name property instances with other table-based information. Finally, we go through each column in the table and load the element data. Feel free to look further on your own. Now go back to the block model template and debug and look at some output. Hopefully you have a general idea on how to create and populate custom model structures, either loaded from specification sources and customized, or created from scratch. Now what can you do with this custom model information? You can do anything that you can with the built-in model structures and data. Open the block model test codes template found under category test. Well, look at that. The MoPlus language recognizes your custom structures just like the built-in ones. Your custom structures appear in teal text. You can use your structures and properties in for each, with, and other statements. Go ahead and debug. Here is a report on your block model data. Update your output solution to save your report. Of course, you can generate any other kind of code. You can also access your custom model structure and data through the built-in structures. For instance, we can get the same results in this report if we go through each object instance with a name of block. Let's do one more test. Close this code template and edit the block model object. Change the name. Update. Now open the code template again. Notice that the block is no longer recognized. Change the block to your new name. MoPlus will recognize your custom model structure as it changes. Hopefully this tutorial gives you an idea on how to create and use your own custom model structures. Have fun creating and using your own types of models. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Other tutorial topics are available at moplus.codeplex.com. The tutorials with smaller numbers cover simpler features, while higher number ones delve deeper into features and capabilities. If you have not already done so, please download the free open source product at moplus.codeplex.com. Also at the Download Center, you can get sample packs to help get you started quickly in creating models and generating code. Also, please go through the onboard help, which provides detailed how-to and reference. Happy coding!